Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a place you probably think you know, Bran Castle. We're going to peel back the layers of legend to find the truth. And trust me, you might be surprised by what we uncover. Okay, so when you hear Bran Castle, this is the image that probably flashes in your mind, right? A spooky Gothic fortress perched on a rocky cliff in Transylvania, the legendary lair of Count Dracula himself. It's mysterious, it's powerful, and it's an image that's kind of burned into our brains. And really, it's no wonder why. The castle's whole spooky vibe has made it a total pop culture icon. From classic horror movies to modern vampire sagas, its silhouette is basically shorthand for Dracula. But here's the big question. What if the story we all know is just that, a story? What if the real story is actually even more fascinating than the legend? Well, let's find out what's really going on behind the myth. To do that, we have to go way back. I'm talking centuries before Bram Stoker ever even dreamed up Dracula. We need to understand what this castle was really built for. So the castle's history is incredibly long and, more importantly, strategic. We're talking centuries before any vampire tales. It actually started as a stronghold for the Teutonic Knights, and the very first stones of the castle we see today were laid way back in 1377. So get this. Its main purpose was never to be home to a vampire, not even close. It was a crucial military fortress built to guard a super important mountain pass. This pass controlled the trade routes between Transylvania and Wallachia. For this castle, location was absolutely everything. And, the castle's long, complicated history as both a fortress and a home is literally carved into its walls. The architecture itself tells this amazing story of how it changed and adapted over hundreds of years. The castle isn't just one thing. It's this incredible mix. You can see the Gothic revival in its sharp, pointed arches and vaulted ceilings. Then you see these Romanesque touches in the classical facades, and then, bam, you get these huge, sweeping staircases from the Baroque period. It's a beautiful mashup of history and design. And if you had any doubt at all about its main job, just look at this number, 10 meters. That is how thick these defensive walls are. These were not built to look pretty. They were built to survive a massive long-term attack. So, okay, if it wasn't a vampire's lair full of coffins and creepy crawlies, what is actually inside this amazing building? Let's take a peek. Yeah, far from a horror movie set, the inside reveals spaces that were designed for royalty, for defense, and for worship. You've got the Prince's Court with its stunning Gothic design, a massive great hall made for huge gatherings, and a gorgeous chapel with all these intricate details. Now, this is just brilliant medieval engineering. The Great Hall wasn't just for parties. It had this super clever system of pulleys and counterweights. What did it do? It let them seal the entrance really fast, a feature that was absolutely critical if you were under attack. Today, the castle is basically a time capsule. It's home to these priceless collections of rare books, art, and historical artifacts. Some of them date all the way back to the Roman Empire. It's a museum that tells the rich story of the region, proving there's so much more to this place than just one legend. So, how does this old fortress work in the modern world? Well, it has to do this delicate balancing act, right? It has to embrace its worldwide fame, but also protect its real history. And that Dracula legend, it's a huge draw. Thanks to its famous nickname, Bran Castle is one of Romania's hottest tourist spots, pulling in over 1 million visitors every single year. But here's a really important detail. Even though it's world famous, its official heritage status isn't because of Dracula. It's recognized as part of a whole network of fortified structures, which is a nod to its true historical job as a fortress. So really, it's a place with two identities. On one side, you have the myth, Dracula's home, the vampire lair, the Gothic horror story. And on the other side, you have the reality, a strategic fortress, a royal residence, and now, a really important national museum. Today, the castle stands proud as a cultural institution that's open to all of us. Its official job is to preserve and share the authentic, centuries-long story of Romania and all the people who lived, fought, and died within its walls. So, as we wrap this up, I'll just leave you with this one question. Now that you know the real story, which one do you find more fascinating, the myth or the reality? Something to think about the next time you see a picture of this incredible castle.